It was the summer after I turned 19. I was driving back from a concert 3 towns over. It was past 2 a.m., and I hadn't seen another car on the road for nearly half an hour. I was low on gas and had to pee, so when I saw an old service station with one flickering light, I pulled in. It looked closed, but the pump lights were still on, and the door to the store was cracked open. There was no cashier at the counter, just a dusty stool and a radio playing faint country music. I called out, but no one answered. I figured someone was in the back, so I pumped my gas first. When I was done, I pushed the door open again and yelled, "I'm just going to use the bathroom." Still nothing. I walked past the counter and saw a narrow hallway with a flickering bulb and a sign that said restroom. The door had no lock. I went inside, did my business, and was washing my hands when I heard the door creak open behind me. I froze. The mirror was dusty, but I could see a shape standing there. A man. He was barefoot, wearing only a tank top and jeans, no expression, just standing in the doorway, not moving. I turned around slowly. He was staring straight at me. I said, "Hey, I didn't mean to sneak in. I just needed the bathroom." He didn't say anything, just stepped forward and shut the door behind him. Now it was just the two of us in that tiny room. I backed up, bumping into the sink. He stood right in front of the door, staring. I tried to act casual. I said I was leaving. As I stepped toward him, he didn't move, just watched. I had to sidestep to squeeze by. As I did, I felt his breath on my neck. I didn't say a word. I walked straight out the hallway, past the counter and back to my car. I didn't run. I didn't look back. I started the engine and drove off. 5 miles down the road, I pulled over to breathe. My heart was racing. I checked the rearview mirror. Nothing behind me. When I got home, I told my brother. He laughed and said I was lucky I didn't get jumped. The next day, I looked up the station online. It had been closed for over 2 months. The building was listed as condemned. I never found out who that man was, or why the bathroom light was still on. This happened 2 winters ago, around 1:30 a.m. I was staying at my cousin's cabin while my apartment's pipes were being replaced. It was deep in the woods. No neighbors, no cell service. I didn't mind the isolation. I just brought books and a space heater. My cousin had warned me the old house creaked a lot at night, so I didn't think much of the occasional noises. The first night was uneventful. I ate, read, and went to bed by midnight. The second night, as I was brushing my teeth, I heard a soft thump in the bedroom. I figured something fell. When I walked in, nothing looked out of place. I checked the window, still shut. I got into bed and left the bathroom light on, just in case. The cabin was dead quiet. I could hear the wind outside and nothing else. Sometime around 2 a.m., I woke up to a faint scratching noise. It was low, like fingernails dragging along fabric. I stayed still and listened. The sound was coming from under the bed. I didn't move, just kept listening. The scratching stopped. Then something shifted, like weight shifting on the carpet. I slowly leaned over the edge and peeked down. It was too dark to see anything, just blackness under the frame. I got up and turned on the main light. Nothing under the bed. I even moved the mattress aside. The floor was clear. No animal, no bugs. I chalked it up to paranoia and got back in. I shut the light but left the lamp on this time, just in case. I tried to sleep again. Maybe 20 minutes later, I heard breathing. Not mine. Slow, steady inhales, coming from underneath me. I sat up. completely still. The breathing didn't stop. I leaned over the edge again and listened. It wasn't loud, just soft, human breathing. It continued for maybe a minute. Then it stopped. I stood up, grabbed my flashlight, and shone it under the bed. Nothing. I even slid my phone under to record, but there was no sound on playback, no movement. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I called my cousin, asked if anything weird had ever happened in the cabin. He just laughed and said, "Yeah, the place is old. You'll hear stuff." That night, I didn't bother turning the lights off. I laid in bed, fully dressed, just waiting. For a while it was quiet. Then, around 3 a.m., I heard something shift under the bed again. Then a whisper. Not a word. Just a hiss. Like someone exhaling a breath. I sat up slowly. I didn't look under the bed this time. I just backed out of the room and spent the rest of the night on the couch with the TV on. When the sun came up, I packed my stuff. I told my cousin I'd found another place to stay. He didn't ask why. A week later, he texted me that he'd gone to check on the cabin. He said the bedroom floor had deep scratch marks under the bed, like from nails or claws or fingers. I still think about that sound, that slow, steady breathing. I was alone in that cabin. No pets, no pipes under the floor. Just me. And something underneath. This was last fall. I had just moved into a third-floor apartment outside Denver. The place was small, but had a decent view and a tiny balcony that overlooked a narrow alley. I worked nights and usually got home around 1 a.m. I'd sit out there sometimes with a snack or just scroll through my phone before bed. It was always quiet. Too quiet for how close we were to downtown. One night, around 1:15, I was outside on the balcony eating cereal when I noticed movement from the building across the alley. It was an identical apartment layout, just reversed. All the lights were off. But someone was standing on their balcony. Just standing there. No phone, no cigarette, no movement. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe they were getting fresh air. I finished eating and went inside. When I turned back to shut the sliding door, the person was still there, facing me. No sound, no shift, just still. I shut the curtains and tried to forget it. The next night, same thing. I got home, sat outside, and there they were. Same place, same position. This time I stayed out longer. They didn't move at all. Not even a twitch. By the third night, it started to get to me. I tried not to look. I stayed inside. But sometime after 2 a.m., I peeked out through the curtain. They were gone. I opened the door slightly and stepped onto the balcony. Then I heard something, a quiet creak from above. I looked up. The person was on the floor above me now, looking down. Their face was barely visible in the dark, just the faint outline of a head. I went back inside, locked the balcony, and stayed up with the lights on. I kept checking the peephole, the windows, everything. Morning came. I called building management and asked who lived across and upstairs. They checked, said both units were empty. One was under renovation, the other had been vacant for months. I asked if anyone else could have gotten onto those balconies. They said no. They're only accessible from inside. I tried to brush it off. Maybe they had the wrong info. Maybe someone was squatting. But over the next week, things got worse. I started hearing tapping sounds on the sliding glass door at night. Always 3 taps, always between 2 and 3 a.m. When I checked, no one would be there. But once, the glass was warm where the tapping had been. like someone had pressed their palm to it for a long time. I stopped going outside, kept the curtains closed, but I still felt it, like someone was watching from the other side of the glass. One night, I woke up to the sound of the lock on the sliding door clicking. Not rattling, clicking, like someone was gently testing it. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and stood in the hallway, not breathing. The clicking stopped. Then a knock. I called the police. They searched the balcony, the alley, the neighboring units. No signs of forced entry, no footprints, just my own. They told me to install a camera. I did. That night, nothing happened. But when I checked the footage in the morning, there were 5 full minutes of static between 2:12 and 2:17 a.m. The rest of the night recorded fine. Just that stretch was gone. I moved out 3 days later, broke my lease, paid the fee. I didn't care. I didn't even pack everything. I still don't know who or what that was, but sometimes, when I'm walking past tall buildings at night, I glance up at the balconies, just to see. And sometimes I still catch someone standing there, not moving, not blinking, just watching. This happened in late November. I was working overnight security at a warehouse that mostly stored office supplies. My shift was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The building was huge, 2 stories, long halls, and a basement full of unused furniture. It was quiet every night. Just me, a walkie-talkie, and a clipboard of rounds to complete every hour. I didn't mind it. The pay was good. The basement always made me uncomfortable. It smelled like damp wood, and the lights took a second to flicker on. But I had to check it every round. The second week I was there, I started noticing that one of the storage room doors in the basement would be open just a crack. Not wide, just enough to see darkness inside. I'd close it, mark it on the sheet, and move on. But it kept happening. After the 4th time, I asked my supervisor if anyone used that room. He said no. The entire basement had been cleared months ago. I didn't press it. But the next night, the door wasn't just open. It was swinging slowly, like it had been recently touched. I stood at the top of the stairs and watched it for a while. No breeze, no vibrations, just that door, drifting back and forth. I went down, flashlight in hand, and walked straight to it. The room inside was empty, just metal shelves and a chair in the corner. I closed the door and wedged a chair in front of it. Later that night, when I returned for my next round, the door was open again. The chair was folded and leaning against the wall. I stared at it for a long time, then turned around and walked back upstairs. I didn't include it in my report. 2 nights later, I was in the office doing paperwork when I heard something on the walkie. Static, followed by what sounded like a voice. Muffled, couldn't make out the words. I asked if anyone was there. No response. Just another burst of static, then silence. It didn't happen again that night. But from then on, every shift, sometime after 3 a.m., I'd hear that voice. Always faint. Always through the walkie, like someone whispering far away. Eventually, I started recording the audio on my phone. I played it back for my supervisor. He just shrugged and said it was probably interference, but the voice didn't sound mechanical. It sounded tired, almost wet, like someone speaking with their mouth full. The words were never clear, just the tone, and it was always the same. One night, I decided to hide in the hallway outside the storage room during my last round. I turned off my flashlight and waited. Around 3:12 a.m., I heard it. A long, slow creak. The door opening, but no footsteps. I stayed still, heart pounding. Then, a voice. Clear this time. Just one word. Come. It didn't sound angry. It sounded patient. Like someone offering a seat. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. After a minute, the door creaked again. Then nothing. I stood there until the sun came up. I handed in my badge that morning. I never returned. The warehouse is still there, still operating. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder what would have happened if I'd stepped through that doorway, just once, just to see.